Yes.
How is he going to respond? He's used to being sort of in control. This is going to be very out of his control.
Yeah, this will be out of his control, and I hope he responds badly, because I think that makes for a more interesting dynamic. I love the pitch of heroes and villains teaming up to face this mega villain, but that doesn't mean it's going to be one big happy family. As an audience member, I don't particularly want to tune in to watch a show where everyone's getting along. So I think Snart's purpose, Heatwave's purpose, Katie's purpose is to keep things kind of edgy and adversarial, even though they are working together toward one cause.
This show, as well as the two that it's spun off from, have a record number of out actors, LGBT characters. What would that have meant to you to be able to watch a show like this as a kid?
I think it would have meant a great deal. I think it's easy to see why people who are different or feel different or have been made to feel different gravitate towards sci-fi shows or shows like Legends, Flash, The Arrow, because they're about folks who are different and maybe they've been penalized for being different and then arc into acceptance and celebration of that difference. There's something inspiring here. So if this show were on when I was a kid, I think I would have been tuning in.
How is this going to affect how many episodes you can appear on The Flash?
I will continue to appear on The Flash. It's certainly my hope, and it's what I've been told. All of us will continue on The Flash and the Arrow and crossovers next fall, leading up into the debut of the new show. It's meant to be a kind of launching pad for Legends.
What have you come to really love about this character, Snart? Like, once you've gotten to walk around this game for a few episodes, how did you decide, like, I love this guy and I want to learn his performance?
I do love this character, and part of it is it was an opportunity initially just to play a bad guy, which was interesting and new for me. Also love the fact that there is an element of humor there, but Snart is always Snart 24/7. He's never not Snart, and there's something about this character kind of being in alignment with himself, which I found very appealing, and sort of interesting contrasted with these so-called heroes, quote-unquote, who are running around in masks, and they've got secret identities, and they're wrestling with hidden selves. He has none of that baggage, and in that sense is kind of heroic.
Are there particular characters, other members of this team who you're going to particularly clash with, or maybe even better, have surprising kinship with? You know?
I hope he's had a clash with as many as possible. I'm really looking forward to scenes with Victor Garber, who I think is an amazing man, a gentleman. Everyone seems really lovely. It's strange that we haven't shot like a frame of this thing so far. It's all sight unseen and leap of faith, but that's part of what's the exciting thing about it.
I really like that you and Dominic are, back together, but in a different dynamic.
Yeah.
What's it been like compared to, the days of old to now and playing these two characters together?
Prison Break is a great time, was a great time. It was a very serious show, and we took it very seriously, and heavy things happened frequently. The tone of Legends and Flash and the Arrow is different, particularly the Flash, and I think Legends will follow suit. That you get to do the heavy drama stuff, but there's also light as well. There's slapstick, there's snark, there's a lot of different kind of shades and tones. So we're getting to have fun in a way that we did not necessarily get to have fun in Prison Break.
You always look like you're having such fun in this part, and it's infectious.
I'm having a good time. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Tell us about finding that perfect officer relationship because it really plays well on officers. How quickly you guys fell into the right kind of.
Yeah, well, I think Leonard needed the Flash. I think he was at the top of his game, a little bit bored, and hadn't been challenged in a long time. And along comes Barry Allen. It's like, how do I address this? How do I answer this challenge? In a way, Snart is completely outclassed. He has no superpowers. So it's the challenge of a lifetime. But I think there's also something in the character of Barry Allen that Leonard relates to. I has that complicated relationship with his father. There's the implication that Snart and his sister Lisa have some family dynamic that they're wrestling with as well. I think Snart looks at Barry as not necessarily his younger self, but if Barry's arc is he's a boy en route to becoming a man, then Snart is another model of manhood, potentially. Another model of choices made, and is this what you want for yourself, or is it not? And in that way, the relationship acquires a kind of depth. I think it's a lot of fun to explore.
You mentioned his relationship with his sister. Do you know anything else, or is there anything that you can share about his backstory, or?
I don't. I hope we get to see more of her, though, because she's not Snart's weakness, but he cares about her, and I think he's got a certain kind of moral code. It's in its infancy, but it's there. But when it's a question of his sister and her well-being, then he is sort of challenged to behave heroically in a way that he might not if it were, say, heat waves life who were in danger.
Snart has a very distinctive kind of personality, and even when you first meet him, he's organizing these big, crazy heists. What was your did you watch any particular movies or look for a particular source of inspiration for how you played him?
No, it all happened relatively quickly from my first meeting with Greg Berlanti to winding up on set, and that is kind of the nature and the beauty of the challenge of working in TV, is that there's never enough time, there's never enough money. There was a moment when I thought, well, Snart's going to have this very low, modulated, whispery kind of voice, like always in control. And then they're writing scenes where I'm screaming across a parking lot. So I had to really kind of think on my feet and decide for myself, well, how does this character sound yelling? I hadn't anticipated that, but that's what's in the script. That's what needs to be honored. We were shooting outside, it was cold, we were doing take after take after take, and I thought, how do I protect my voice as I'm projecting across the street? And out of that came this kind of nasality that allowed me to save my voice, but also kind of fed the character, and suddenly it felt right, and it felt like Snark, and it sounded a lot like the character's last name, and just in these moments you kind of discover pieces that make sense when put together.
Is it possible that the new show could permanently sway him over to the side of the good guys?
I don't think Snart will ever become a full-on good guy. I think he may become more shades of gray, which is interesting to watch, even better. I think that's what's identifiable and relatable for an audience member who's watching someone struggle with their edge, struggle with their darkness. So I hope he kind of teeter-totters, but stays 1 foot on the side of the bad guys.
Getting to work on a show that's full of so many iconic characters like this, and getting to sort of step into one that is iconic for comic book characters or comic book fans, but not for the general public, what is that like for you, getting to sort of breathe life into this character in a way that you haven't seen?
It's been fantastic and satisfying, especially on a personal level, because I was a part of something that was kind of special and touched a lot of people, and I think I was resigned to being Michael Scofield for the rest of my life. That became its own thing, and there was a fan base that was international, and I got recognized because of Prison Break. But as soon as I started shooting Captain Cold, I found myself getting off a plane at the airport, and there were people waiting there, not with pictures of Michael Scofield, but with pictures of Captain Cold. And I thought, this is interesting and exciting to me. I could probably play 12 lawyers, 12 procedurals from now till Kingdom Come and still be Michael Scofield to people. But now that I've kind of taken on this Captain Cold character, I'm becoming something else to a whole other generation, which is really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.